Hello, hi, welcome. My name is Sarah and this is Wicked Reading. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. So today, as you can see, I got a lot of books to share with you guys. So I'm going to do like my book haul. I have some packages I still have to open and some like recent shopping trips, but I've actually read some of these and some of them have been featured in like vlogs. I always try to include some type of unboxing in a vlog. So some of these have been featured before, some of these have been read before, but these are all the books I have gotten since my last haul. So it's about 4 months of books. All of these books I've bought myself and my fiance has bought me. I think I'm gonna stick to doing hauls about every like 3 or 4 months or so and just show all the ones I had gotten in the previous months. It's just easier that way because I don't tend to buy a lot of books at once. I tend to kind of like buy a book here and there and then they just accumulate. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm not spending as much money, but clearly I do spend quite a bit of money on books, but it's my money and I'm gonna do with it what I want. Now, I will preface this by saying I tend to hear somebody talk about a book and I hear a couple of words that I like, and then if I think I'm gonna like the book, I get it, I buy it. So I am not going to be sharing very good synopses. I'm not gonna be sharing very well what these books are supposed to be about. Just kind of what I think that they're going to be about, and it may not be true. So as far as getting a good summary of what these books are about, I'm not your girl for that. I'm just going to show you a book, tell you why I got it, and move along. So I'm going to go through these in genres, and so I'll try to do some like timestamps down below so you can like jump around. I am mostly a reader of horror, fantasy, a little bit of romance. Usually it's like fantasy romance, not highly romance, not like standalone romance for the most part, once in a while. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a big horror and fantasy reader, so let's get to it. Oh, and then I do have a fairy loot. I think this was May. This is the May fairy loot, and it's the first month that I've gotten the adult and young adults book combination thingy. It's a new subscription that they're doing, so I signed up for that. So that's what this is. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with horror. Right here is a stack of all the books that I received in Nightworms packages, which is a horror book subscription service, which I don't actually get month to month anymore, but I did get for a little bit. So let's go ahead and get into these really quickly because these have all been featured on my channel. And if you want me to read the synopsis and stuff, go check out those videos. But to start off with, Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. I don't remember what box this came in, but I actually did read this and you can check out my thoughts on that. I think I read it last month. I don't even know. I'm sorry. I'll try to link stuff all over the place, but I did already read this. It has to do with trans experience, transphobia, and it ties in some really wicked horror and body gore. It almost feels literary in a sense, but it's got a lot going on if you're into social commentary, trans experience tied into horror. The author herself is a transgender woman. But yeah, so Tell Me I'm Worthless by Alison Rumfitt. I think this is the book that came in the same package with Nightworms. You get 2 books each month, and that is Spite House, or The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I think it's just like a haunted house story, but I think it's one of those that it's like, is it haunted house or like haunted people, or is it even really a haunting? You know, that kind of thing going on. Okay, sorry if the angle changed at all. My cat knocked over my camera. So anyways, as I was saying, the Spite House, yeah, it's like haunted house, or is it type of situation, I think. I think it was part of a lot of book clubs when it came out a couple months ago, but I haven't read it. I don't know. I haven't even listened to anybody's thoughts about it, but we'll see. Maybe I'll read it. And next up in Nightworms, I got How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. Another haunted house type of situation. I've heard it's kind of like Toy Story, but make it spooky. To be honest, I haven't been drawn to this. I've heard very mixed things, and I don't know why. I don't know like the group of people that like it and the group of people that don't. Knowing Grady Hendrix, it's probably pretty like kind of campy, tongue-in-cheek, kind of jokey, maybe a little bit hokey, so maybe that's why people don't like it. I will eventually read it, but to be totally honest, I'm not really drawn to it at all at the moment, but we'll see. Next, I got White Horse by Erica T. Worth. So all I know about this is it has to do with, I think, a Native American woman who is kind of like haunted by her past or like her mother, and there's like some sketchy stuff going on with like her mother that died or something like that. I don't really know. To be honest, I haven't heard great things about this, and I also have not been really drawn to it, but I do have it, so I will likely eventually read it. Waste not, want not, right? So yeah, I have this one. Next up is Root Work by Tracy Cross. Now this one I am really excited to get into. I think I'm gonna do a horror novella specific vlog, so this will be featured in that eventually. And this has to do with kind of like horror tying in hoodoo and this Black family in the South that is dealing with racism. And I don't know when this takes, oh, okay, so this takes place in 1889, so still heavily segregated and all of that. And yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like ancestry, racism. So I am really excited to eventually get into this. Okay, so that was all the Nightworms specific books. So moving on to just ones I bought. I recently bought this one, Bad Cree by Jessica Jones. Now Jessica Johns, sorry. Jessica Johns. So I do know that this wasn't a Nightworms package, but I didn't get it in there. So I don't really know much about this, but I have heard it is quite disturbing and gross, and like I don't even know. Like I think the premise opens with this girl having nightmares about crows or birds or something, and yeah. Oh, you know what? Let me just read the first line. Actually, it says, when Mackenzie wakes up with a crow's head in her hands, she panics. Night after night, Mackenzie's dreams would return her to a memory from before her sister Sabrina's untimely death. So I don't know, there's some like family drama and it's horror, and I've heard it's pretty disturbing. So I am actually really excited to get into this eventually, and I actually really like this cover. I think this cover is really clean and slick and I like it. I got Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. Is it Ojeda? I am super excited to hear this. This is a translated work, I'm pretty sure. And all I've heard is that it is kind of bizarro, kind of weird. And I hope it is. And I love that. I love weird horror. I love bizarre horror. I'm excited. This is another one that I feel like I've heard mixed things about, but when there's a book that I specifically want to read, I kind of purposely avoid people's feelings on it, because I just like to go in as unbiased as I can humanly do and without too much knowledge of what's going on. So my keywords here are that it's weird, horror, and it's translated. So there's that. So another Grady Hendrix I picked up was We Sold Our Souls, and this one I'm like so excited to get into. I actually recently picked it up like in the last month, but it's Grady Hendrix, and it ties in the 90s vibes and a heavy metal band, and I love heavy metal and I'm so excited. I really wanted to find a kind of horror mixed in with like the music vibe, the music festival, because I recently read This Delicious Death, which is a YA horror that takes place at a music festival, and it just like made me want more music stuff, because that didn't really give me the music vibes, the festival vibes that I was hoping to get from it. So that inspired me to buy this, and I'm super excited. I kind of want to read this one soon. That same trip I also picked up Just Like Mother by Anne Hetzel. So I picked it up because it was bargain priced. This is another one I've heard very mixed things about. I think people either really like it or really just like don't care. Not hate it, but like don't care, which I don't know what's worse. But all I know is it has to do with the cults, and that's it. I think that the woman in it escaped a cult. Maybe she's dealing with the trauma of that, or I don't know, but it was on sale, so I got it. Then we have The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Caw. This is another one that I recently picked up, and I will actually be reading this very soon, by the end of June. So yeah, it's a short story novella situation. It's literally like 106 pages or something, or like not even 100 pages. It's very short. It is the same author that wrote Nothing But Blackened Teeth, but I didn't read that one. But this one has to do with like a mermaid that is now on land, and she's just kind of, I don't know what she's doing. She's walking around, and she eventually crosses paths with a plague doctor. They are journeying through a forest, and they come across children with a thirst for blood. And like they're like described as like ageless children. So I don't know, but it's short, and it's gonna help me with a readathon this month. Next is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. So this is a chunky boy, and I didn't really realize how chunky it was when I ordered it. I don't pay attention to page count when I buy books online. I just don't. Unless I see someone holding it, I have no idea how long it's gonna be. And it normally doesn't make a difference to me, but this is a little bit daunting, not gonna lie. Now, all I know with this one is it has to do with a woman died, and then her husband and son are, I think, like on a journey to go back to her demonic family. So I think it has a lot to do with like generational possession, but I don't really know. I've always seen a few people I follow actually like read it, and it does seem like, I think I've seen 2 people, and it does seem like overall they enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated by the size of it. But the cover is so beautiful. I love the contrasting colors, and I have it. So I will eventually tackle this. I may need the help of the audiobook to get through this. I then picked up Jaws by Peter Benchley. Listen, I was just feeling some type of way. It was summer. I was in a bookstore. I was like, let's pick this up. I don't know. I mean, I will read it, but like, I probably won't read it till next year if I'm being totally honest. But I do love the movie. Well, I say love, but I don't think I've watched that movie in like 10 years. It's been a long time. But I do like the movie. I don't know how I feel about creature feature type things because I haven't really read them. I've just never really been drawn to it. But I mean, I feel like Jaws is a good one to start with. It's like a realistic creature feature, I think. I mean, in the movie it is. It's just like a big ass shark that attacks people. So yeah, I mean, we'll probably give it a go next year. Then I picked up The Girl in 6E, who is by A.R. Torre. I think that they recently made a movie about this, or a show. So it has to do with a cam girl, and I think that that's all I got. Maybe it has to do with a stalker, or she thinks she has a stalker. I don't know. All I know is cam girl. So there's that. If you've read it, let me know what you thought about it. Then I got The Girl from Raw Blood by Catriona Ward. So truly and honestly, the only reason I picked this up is because I was trying to get buy one, get one half off at Barnes & Noble. And I went there for one particular book, which had that sticker on it. And I could not for the life of me find another one that was on my TBR. But I did find this one, and I do love Catriona Ward. So this is a backlist for her. I think she wrote this in 2015. Yeah, so it's a backlist for her. And I think it mostly is kind of like a gothic haunted house situation. So I don't know how I feel. Like haunted houses, I'm still having a rough time figuring out if I really like them or not. I think that it's just such a wide and vast subgenre that it's a little bit daunting because it's like, obviously if there's so many books in that particular subgenre, there's going to be a lot of duds while there's going to be some really good ones. So it's a little bit, I guess, intimidating to try to find haunted house stories, because once I try to read a few, if I don't like those few, I'm just going to be like, I don't like haunted house stories. But there's so many out there. But I've yet to find a haunted house story that I'm like 5-star, love it. It's usually haunted people I like. But anyways, so it sounds like this might be kind of more of a ghost. It says they are haunted by her, a curse passed down in ancient blood that marks each Villarca for certain heartbreak, even death. But we'll see. I love Catriona Ward. I love her writing style. I've loved every book I've read of her so far, but this is a backlist, so I don't know if the writing style is the same or if she kind of recently got into her, you know, her weird, thrillery, confusing type of, you know, books recently. So I don't know how this one's going to play out, but I will read it and we shall see. And then this is so random, but I picked up Horns by Joe Hill. I literally got it at a garage sale for 50 cents. And clearly it was a library book previously. I wanted to read a Joe Hill book and I saw this at a garage sale, so I was like, hey, sure, yeah, let's do it. If you don't know, Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King, but I did want to at least have, I don't know, I guess a book by Joe Hill to pick from. So I have it now. I do have a couple packages here, which I'm pretty sure are horror, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna open those. I have 2 here. So we got 2 books in this package. They're kind of both very similar in vibes. So I have Tastes Like Candy by Ivy Tholen. First of all, this cover, I like freaking love this cover so goddamn much. The pastels, the cotton candy, I love it. So cute. So this is like a slasher, and that's all I really know. I just finished my first slasher that I've ever read, and I loved it so much, and so I wanted to get more into slashers. I bought this before I even read that one, but I was particularly feeling like I wanted to explore the slasher subgenre, so I picked this up because it's been on my list for a while, and the cover's stunning, and yes, I could have read it on KU, but this cover, I wanted it on my shelf, and I'm excited. And then next in that same package, kind of very similar type of vibe, it is the Cotton Candy Massacre by Christopher Robertson. And this is another slasher type book that takes place in an amusement park. And I'm so excited. Like, I don't think I will ever get sick of that particular setting, like ever. And this is actually kind of thicker than I thought it would be. I'm not mad about it. It is about 355 pages, so it's actually a bit chunkier than I expected. I guess I expected it to be more on the thin side, like Tastes Like Candy. I'm gonna save both of these for, I'm pretty sure that Kelsey from Slimes and Slashers is going to have a week readathon that is kind of like amusement park themed. I don't know if this goes along with that, to be honest, but it's amusement park themed or like slasher themed, I think, going on in September, but my brain cannot plan that far ahead, other than I had heard her talk about something in September for a week and it prompted me to buy these books. So I'm gonna link her down below. So this is my most recent purchase, and I think I'm gonna read it very soon. This is what's bad for me about buying a lot of books, is when I buy books, I want to read what I just bought. So if I buy too many books, like the books I bought 2 months ago, they might just like end up sitting around for a little bit, because I just get so excited for the books that I recently buy, and I tend to pick those up before the books I bought less recently, if that makes sense. But so this is my most recent purchase, and it is Maeve Fly by CJ Lead. So this cover, first of all, oh, I love it. I've never been so drawn to a cover that pulls so much green and it's just, I don't know why, but I just really like this cover. But anyways, this I've heard described as kind of like American Psycho-esque story, but the main character is a woman and it's very stream of consciousness and she just has these urges. And that's all I've heard. But there's so many blurbs on this. So this one says, lead presents us with a delicious anti-heroine. Keep an eye on this rising feminist voice. This one says, a deliriously indecent feminist slasher. And if that doesn't bring you some joy in just those words alone, I don't know. Let's get the fairy loot out of the way really quick. So all these loose books I've obviously already talked about on my channel. I have specific videos of unboxing these fairy loot ones. So let's just fly through these. So fairy loot, these are all from YA boxes in the past few months. I have 7 Faceless Saints by MK Lob. Gorgeous cover. Gorgeous edges. And yeah, I don't even remember what this has to do with. Anyways, it's a YA fantasy. This is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. This is probably the one that I'm most excited for out of this particular stack in my hands right now. It does have to do with breaking into like ancient graves? Crypts. Ancient crypts and kind of, I think, wrapping them. I don't even know, but there's that. And then we have City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer. This is kind of like described as a Gotham fantasy. I don't even know. This does also sound really good. If you want more information on what those are about specifically, just check out my Fairy Loot unboxing videos. So then we're going to unbox this Fairy Loot package. So spoilers, if you haven't opened your May adult or YA books yet and you don't want to know yet and you want to open your own, good for you. This is the May box. Okay, so we have 2 books here. I don't know which is which. We'll just open this one first. I see black edges. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Ooh, the edges are pretty. They're like letters. Cute. I have no fucking idea what this is about, but it is signed. Ooh, the end pages are pretty. Lots of, ooh, I like the naked book too. Let me show you the naked book too while I'm at it. The naked book is pretty, oh, it's getting kind of washed out, but it is like gold, what do they call that? Whatever, the gold shiny stuff. I can never remember what it's called. The other end pages, I think the same. So I will actually read this one because I didn't buy it myself voluntarily. So I do have to read and see what this is about. When 2 rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are wearing again. All 18-year-old Iris Winnow wants to do, okay, so this is the YA one. All 18-year-old Iris Winnow wants to do is hold her family together. With a brother forced to fight on behalf of the gods, now missing from the front line, and a mother drowning her sorrows, Iris's best bet is winning the columnist's promotion at the Oath Gazette. But when Iris's letter to her brother fall into the wrong hands, those of the handsome but cold Roman Kit, her rival at the paper, an unlikely magical connection forms. Expelled into the middle of a mystical war, typewriters in tow, can their bond withstand the fight for the fate of mankind and, most importantly, love? An epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. Yeah, so this is definitely very romance heavy, journalist style. So there's that. And then next book. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis. I really like this cover. That's really pretty. Okay. What are you? Oh, the edges are ombre, cute. The naked front cover is pretty. dagger with a bunch of like filigree. And then we got some end page art, of course. Ooh, this one's cool. And then I think it's signed as well. Thank you. So let's see what this is about, because I don't know. Has she been sent to save the realm or destroy it? As spy master to the queen, Aya's blood oath ensures she protects those she fights alongside, including Will, the queen's enforcer and Aya's bitter rival. When rumors of dark magic rise in a nearby kingdom, both are sent to investigate. But when Aya's power acts beyond her gods-given affinity, she risks being turned into a weapon in a war she doesn't know how to win. And when her relationship with Will unexpectedly shifts, neither knows the danger that will follow. So it sounds like we got another enemies to lovers. This one is quite thicker, and it does say on the back with like the author information that this is a debut fantasy novel and the first in a trilogy. So there's that. I do like the art. I think that that's cute. So yeah, that is all the fairy loot. So then moving on to other fantasies. So this is the last stack, ladies and gents. I have 2 YA fantasy here. The first one is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Listen, I caved, okay? There's such cute character art around this book, and I like the idea of the world with like Prince of Hearts and all of that. I do not plan on reading the Caraval series. Sorry, I just want to read this and see if I like it. And yeah, I don't really know. It's just like a YA fantasy romance. That's it. And then another YA I picked up was One for My Anemone. One for My Enemy. Oh my god. One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling with like kind of like mob crime families. So I don't know, I was feeling some type of way when I bought this. I just liked, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive, and it has like art at the end pages and stuff, and I don't know, I liked the cover a lot, and I was just online shopping. You know, sometimes you buy things in the moment and then you're just kind of like, why did I buy that? Like, I've heard amazing things about Olivia Blake, and I do really want to read Half a Soul by her. But for some reason, instead of buying that, I bought this one. And I don't even really like Romeo and Juliet, but I don't know. I cannot explain myself and my thoughts from a month ago. Sorry, I was a different person back then. And then this is one I actually already owned, but my cover of it was like so butt ugly, and I saw this one and I was like, this is gonna make me actually read it, because the other one's been sitting on my shelf for so long, and that is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I don't know what it is. Neil, sweetie, I love you, but your covers in America, what are they? What are they? This is a UK copy, and I'm so glad I found it in a used bookstore, because this is just like so much better. Amazing? No, but so much better than the other one I had. Let me go grab it just to show you guys. So this is the copy that I had, and like, it's like you look at this, you're like, what the fuck is this about? You have no idea. I get it, it's like very artistic. Shout out to the person who illustrated it. No shade to you, but it just does not encapsulate, I feel like, what the story is supposed to be about, because every time I would look at this, I'd be like, I don't want to read that. It looks like literary fiction, like dull, boring, whatever. But no, it is about like pretty much another world that is like between cracks. I don't know. Then I picked up The Helm of Midnight by Mariana Lostetter. Reagan from Peru's Project, she recommended this a long time ago, in a very, like, not a long time ago, but like a while ago. So it was like always kind of in the back of my head. And actually my fiance recently started reading a book, and it's his first book since high school, like not even kidding. And he was between this book and another book that's like a James Corey. I kind of pointed it out because I was like, I see this book everywhere. I feel like it's a guy book. It's a very guy book, so you should read this. And he's into Star Wars, so he picked it up. But he was debating between this one and that one. And I was like, well, I want to read this one too. So just buy both. Now I have it. All I remember Reagan talking about is in this world, there's these like masks. And somehow there's like a mask that either comes from like the devil or just like a really high powerful baddie, and somebody like gets a hold of the mask, and when you have the mask you like bear the power, something like that. I don't know. Again, this isn't the video to understand what these books are actually about, but I bought it and I'm gonna read it and I'm excited. And then next, along with everybody and their mother, I picked up Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I did get the first edition. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people are selling this for astronomical amounts of money. I did just buy this from Amazon. And I feel bad. I wish I bought more just to sell the other ones for the price that I paid for them. Like, I feel so bad that people, I saw one on Pango Books for like, it was marked down to $277 from $285, I think. I'm like, you were so sweet to give such a discount on that. 10 times the amount you paid for it. That's kind of shitty. I get maybe doing it for like a little bit extra. I don't know. Makes me feel icky. But anyways, so this is a fantasy romance, and all I know about it is I think it's like kind of academic-y in that it takes place at this school where people learn how to ride dragons. And that may or may not be correct. That's my understanding of it, and that's it. So I am planning on reading this very soon for my June readathon that I'm taking part in. So these next two books I'm going to show you. I'm going to preface this by saying I bought both of these before any of the controversy occurred. So I had no idea, and I just am simple-minded and liked the covers, so I bought them and I have them now. So I'm going to read them, and quite frankly, if the third book comes out with similar covers, I'm gonna buy that one too so it matches the set. I'm going to try my best to not do something like that in the future. But anyways, the books are the Sarah J. Maas House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky of Breath, and they are the new UK covers. And if you haven't heard yet, a lot of people are upset because these covers are actually AI generated instead of paying a creator. So people are upset about that. And I think that that's valid. I didn't know that before I bought these. If I can help it in the future, I'm not going to support AI generated art. Obviously, I would rather support human arts. Yes. Okay. Anyways, so I did buy these. And I don't know anything about them other than Fantasy Romance by Sarah J. Maas. So that's it. I haven't read either of them. I haven't even finished the Throne of Glass series yet. I don't know. Can somebody tell me if these are YA or adults? Because if they're YA, I'm pissed. I should have probably looked into these more. I'm really getting over YA, but whatever. Anyways, and then I got One Dark Window by Rachel Gilling, which I did already read and vlog, so you can check that out. This is kind of like a gothic fantasy romance. It is adult. There is a scene of spice, if you're curious to know. And yeah, you can check out my thoughts and my reading journey in the vlog if you so wish. But I did actually read this one already, and yeah. Really quick, I totally forgot to show these three because I had them in a different stack because I already read them. But I have three more horror that I recently bought in the last 3 months. I think this was in the last 3 months. I don't remember now, so I might be repeatedly showing this one, but I got The Troop by Nick Cutter, and I did already read it. It has to do with a group of Boy Scout or like Eagle Scouts that are on this island to do Eagle Scout stuff, and this guy shows up acting a little weird, and he is the carrier of a bioengineered nightmare, and all hell breaks loose. So I have a reading vlog of me reading this, and again, I'm sorry if this wasn't my last haul. I don't remember when I bought this now, but anyways, there's a reading vlog for this and go watch it if you want. And then I read Mothered by Zoya Stage. This was one that was also in a Nightworms package. It was along with Root Work, I think was the 2 books in that package, I think. I don't remember. But this has to do with, what does this have to do with? I read it. This girl, it's like during the pandemic and lockdown, and this girl has a tumultuous relationship with her mother, but her mother has to move in with her during lockdown. And once her mom moves in with her, she starts having weird, bizarre nightmares / memories, and she keeps thinking about her twin sister that died when they were young, and it kind of gets like into weird territory, but not really. But I also have a reading blog of me reading this if you're interested in that. So there's that. And then Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. I recently read this. Actually, it's in the same reading blog as One Dark Window is. It has to do with a voyage setting sail to go to the Mariana Trench to look into this area that a previous voyage went to, and unexpectedly everybody disappeared from the voyage, from the ship. So yeah, it's kind of like mystery aspect. And again, reading blog for that if you're more curious about it and my thoughts about it. Okay, so back to our regular scheduled programming. I have one last package here. This is fantasy. Whoever packaged this like did such a great job. I actually ordered these from the like used section on Amazon. We got 3 books. They all go along with the first Law series. So this is a grim dark series by Joe Abercrombie. So we have The Blade Itself, Before They Are Hanged, and Last Argument of, is that Rings or Kings? I don't know if that says Rings or Kings. I'm stupid, sorry. So this is like a grim dark series. I don't even really know much about it, to be honest. But I think they're starting to reprint these with different covers, and I know that at some point I was interested in it, and I saw the new covers and I didn't like them. So I was like, let me just hurry up and buy these before they're all printed with new covers. So I did. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you about them other than it's grim dark. That's it. That's all I know. And then real quick, lastly, I did forget to mention, I did buy a ton of more volumes of Yona of the Dawn. I actually bought more than this technically, but I don't remember when I bought each one. But I did get a whole box of a ton of Yona of the Dawn volumes. So now I have up to volume 22. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I love it. So there's that, and that is it. So that is gonna be everything for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you spending some of your time with me while I sit and talk about books. If you haven't, please give the video a like so that I know you like book hauls. I mean, don't we all? Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're interested in future content, turn on the bell notification, all the fun YouTube things that help your girl out. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.